Do you ever feel like no matter how much money you make, you're still somehow broke? Like, it doesn't even make sense anymore. That's exactly what we're getting into today. And trust me, this is gonna hit a little too close to home. Because here's the thing, you're not alone. You get paid, maybe even a decent amount, and for a few days everything feels fine. You tell yourself, all right, this time I'm gonna manage it better. But then life happens. Bills show up. You order food because you're too tired to cook. Maybe you treat yourself a little, because you deserve it, right? And before you know it, you're checking your bank account again. And it's almost empty. And this is where things get interesting. It's not just about how much money you make. That's the biggest lie most people believe. You could double your income tomorrow. And there's a very real chance you'd still end up in the same situation. Just with bigger expenses. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how your lifestyle quietly upgrades every time your income does? Suddenly, the cheap coffee isn't good enough. The budget phone feels outdated. You start justifying things you never would have before. But I make more now. Yeah, and somehow you still don't have anything left. And here's the truth nobody likes to admit. Being broke isn't always about money. It's about behavior. It's about habits. It's about the invisible patterns running in the background of your life that you don't even notice. You're not just spending money. You're reacting. You're coping. You're chasing feelings. And the scary part? Most of it is automatic. You don't wake up and decide, I'm going to stay broke today. It just happens quietly, repeatedly, predictably. And what most people don't realize is, this cycle can go on for years, decades even, unless something changes. So the real question isn't, why don't I have enough money? It's, what am I doing with the money I already have? And once you start asking that question, everything begins to shift. Because in the next part, we're going to talk about something most people never question, and it's probably the exact reason you feel stuck right now. Let's be real for a second. When you get money, what's the first thing you feel? Relief, excitement, maybe even a little rush? Yeah, that feeling right there. That's part of the problem, because for most people, money isn't just money. It's emotional. It's tied to stress, to comfort, to reward, and without even realizing it, you start using money as a way to regulate how you feel. You had a rough day? You order something online. You're bored. You scroll and end up buying stuff you didn't even plan to. You're feeling low? Suddenly that treat yourself mindset kicks in. And it feels good, at least for a moment. But here's the truth, that feeling never lasts. The package arrives, you get that quick hit of excitement, and then nothing. You're back to where you started, except now your bank account is smaller. And this might surprise you. But your brain actually gets addicted to that cycle. You start associating spending with feeling better. So every time something feels off in your life, your instinct is to spend, not save, not pause and spend. And over time, this becomes your default setting. You don't even question it anymore. That late night purchase, automatic. That extra add-on at checkout, automatic. That I'll worry about it later mindset, yeah, automatic. And this is where things get dangerous. Because when your financial decisions are driven by emotions instead of intention, you lose control. Slowly, quietly, and consistently. You might think, it's just a small expense, but those small expenses stack up. They always do. And the worst part, you don't feel it immediately. It creeps up on you, one transaction at a time, until one day you look at your account and think, where did all my money go? But deep down, you already know. And here's the realization most people avoid. You're not just spending money, you're trying to buy a feeling. And until you understand that, nothing really changes. Because in the next section, we're going to talk about something even more subtle. Something that makes you spend more without you even realizing it. Have you ever bought something, not because you needed it, but because everyone else seemed to have it? Be honest. Because this right here, this is one of the biggest silent killers of your money. It's called comparison, and it's everywhere. You open social media, and suddenly it feels like everyone is doing better than you. People traveling, upgrading their lives, buying things, living this picture-perfect version of reality. And even if you don't say it out loud, something inside you starts whispering, "Why not me?" And this is where things get interesting. You don't just feel behind, you start acting like you're not. You spend to keep up. You upgrade to match a lifestyle that isn't even real half the time. And the scary part? You justify it. I work hard. I deserve this. I'm just enjoying life. And look, there's nothing wrong with enjoying your life, but when your decisions are driven by what other people are doing, you lose your own direction. Because here's the truth. You're comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel. You don't see their debt. You don't see their stress. You don't see the full picture, but you're reacting to it anyway, and that reaction costs you. Every time you try to keep up, you push yourself further into a lifestyle you might not actually be able to afford, and it doesn't feel like a big deal in the moment. It rarely does, but over time, it adds up, and this might surprise you. Most people who look rich aren't actually wealthy. They just spend more. There's a difference, and once you understand that difference, it changes everything. Because in the next part, we're going to talk about something even deeper, the hidden trap that makes more income actually make your situation worse. You'd think making more money would solve everything, right? Like, if you just earned a little more, everything would finally click. You'd save more, stress less, and feel in control. But here's the uncomfortable truth. For a lot of people, more money doesn't fix the problem. It amplifies it. And this is where things get really real. It's called lifestyle inflation. Every time your income goes up, your expenses quietly follow. You move to a nicer place. You eat better food. You start paying for convenience. You upgrade your habits without even thinking about it. And at first it feels like progress. But here's the catch. Your financial situation doesn't actually improve. You're still living paycheck to paycheck, just at a higher level. And what most people don't realize is, this cycle never ends unless you break it, because your brain adapts fast. What once felt like a luxury becomes normal. What once felt expensive becomes reasonable. And suddenly the life you once dreamed of just feels average. So you want more, and to get more you spend more. And around it goes. And this might hit hard, but if you don't change your habits, you could be making double what you make now and still feel broke. Because the problem was never just the income, it was the pattern. And patterns don't fix themselves, they repeat, until you decide to interrupt them. And in the next section, we're going to dive into something even more uncomfortable. The role your identity plays in keeping you stuck. Let me ask you something. Who do you think you are when it comes to money? Not what you want to be, not what you say out loud, but deep down, what do you believe? Because this right here changes everything. If you see yourself as bad with money, guess what? You're going to act like it. If you believe you'll always struggle financially, you'll unconsciously make choices that prove that belief right. And this is where things get a little uncomfortable, because it means the problem isn't just external, it's internal. Your identity shapes your behavior, and your behavior shapes your results. So if you keep telling yourself, "I can't save," or "I'm just not good with money," you're reinforcing a loop that keeps you exactly where you are. And this might surprise you. Your brain actually prefers being right over being successful. Yeah, it would rather prove your belief correct than change it. So even when you try to do better, something pulls you back. You overspend, you slip up, you go back to old habits, and then you say, "See, I knew I couldn't do it." But what if that's not the truth? What if you've just been playing a role you never questioned? Because once you start seeing yourself differently, your actions start to shift. And when your actions shift, your results follow. But that change doesn't happen overnight. It starts with awareness. And in the next section, we're going to talk about something most people ignore completely. The small daily habits that quietly drain your money without you noticing. It's never the big purchases that keep you broke. It's the small ones. The ones you don't think twice about. The ones that feel harmless. And this is where things get sneaky. Because a coffee here, a subscription there, a random purchase in between, it all feels insignificant in the moment. You tell yourself, it's just a few bucks. And technically, you're right. But here's the truth. It's not about the amount. It's about the frequency. Those small expenses? They happen every day. And over time, they stack up in a way that's almost invisible. Until you actually sit down and look at it. And when you do, it's shocking. You realize you've been leaking money this entire time. Not in big chunks, but in tiny, consistent drops. And this might surprise you. Those small habits are often harder to change than big ones because they're tied to your routine, your comfort, your autopilot. You don't think about them, you just do them. And that's exactly why they're so powerful. Because anything you do daily shapes your life. Not occasionally, daily. And if your daily habits are working against you financially, no amount of income will fix that. You'll always feel like you're falling behind. But here's the good news. If small habits can work against you, they can also work for you. And that's where the shift begins. Because in the next section, we're going to talk about something that might completely change how you see money. Forever. What if I told you, money isn't the goal? Sounds weird, right? Because everything in your life probably feels like it's about money. Earning it, spending it, stressing over it. But here's where things get interesting. Money is just a tool. That's it. It's not happiness. It's not success. It's not fulfillment. It's a tool that amplifies who you already are. So if your habits are messy, more money just makes them messier. If your mindset is reactive, more money just gives you more ways to react. And this is the part most people never think about. They chase money, hoping it will fix everything. But when it finally comes, nothing really changes because they never changed. And this might hit deeper than expected. You don't need more money to feel in control. You need better control to handle more money. Because without that, it doesn't matter how much you earn. You'll always feel like it's slipping through your fingers. And that feeling, that constant stress, that quiet anxiety, it doesn't come from lack of money. It comes from lack of clarity. Not knowing where your money is going, not feeling in control of your own decisions. And once you fix that, everything starts to shift. Because in the next section, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful changes you can make, and it has nothing to do with earning more. Here's something most people avoid: tracking their money. Not because it's hard, but because it's uncomfortable. Because once you actually see where your money is going, you can't ignore it anymore. And this is where things get real. You realize it's not just bad luck or low income. It's patterns, choices, habits you've been repeating without thinking. And at first that realization can feel overwhelming. Almost like, wow, I've really been messing this up. But here's the truth. Awareness isn't failure, it's power. Because you can't change what you refuse to see. And once you see it, you can start making different decisions. Not perfect ones, just better ones. And over time, those small changes compound, just like your bad habits did. But this time, they're working in your favor. And this might surprise you. Control feels better than spending ever did, because instead of temporary satisfaction, you get something deeper: confidence, clarity, peace. And once you experience that, it changes your relationship with money completely. Because in the next section, we're going to talk about the hardest part of all: staying consistent. Starting is easy. Staying consistent, that's where most people fall off. Because motivation fades, life gets busy, old habits creep back in, and suddenly you're right back where you started. And this is where things get frustrating. Because you know what to do. You've seen the patterns. You've made progress, but somehow it doesn't stick. And here's the truth nobody talks about. Change isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to show up differently. Again and again, even when it's boring, even when it's inconvenient, even when you don't feel like it. Because those small, consistent actions, they build momentum. And momentum is what creates real change, not motivation, not bursts of discipline, momentum. And this might be the most important realization of all. You don't fix your finances in one big moment. You fix them in hundreds of small ones. Quiet decisions nobody sees. Daily choices that don't feel exciting, but matter more than anything else. And once you understand that, you stop looking for shortcuts. because you realize there aren't any. And in the final section, we're going to bring everything together in a way that might completely change how you see your situation. So here you are, still making money, but still feeling broke. And now you see why. It was never just about the income. It was the habits, the emotions, the patterns you didn't even realize you were repeating. And this is where everything comes together, because nothing changes until you do. Not your bank account, not your situation, not your future. It all starts with you, with how you think, how you react, how you choose to show up every single day. And yeah, it's not easy. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to face things you've been avoiding. But it's also the only way forward. Because the truth is, you're not stuck. You're just running a pattern. And patterns can be changed. Not instantly, not perfectly, but gradually, intentionally, consistently. And one day, you'll look back and realize something shifted. Not overnight, but piece by piece, choice by choice, until the life you once felt trapped in no longer feels like yours. And maybe, just maybe, being broke was never your destiny. It was just a phase you hadn't outgrown yet. But now you see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.